warm fuzzies. There are no guarantees in life. There are no guarantees in life that it's going to be a rosy, cheery, happy thing from start to finish. And I know that for a fact because my life turned out ever so much differently than what I thought it would. I did not dream when I was a little kid riding horses and running races that I would end up sitting on the sidelines watching those things happen at some point in my life. You take things for granted. One of the things I've learned is not to take things for granted. I'm a Rotarian and happy to be a Rotarian. I think one of the messages that I love the most in Rotary is service above self. And I had to learn that when I lost my leg. And I'd like to share a little bit of that part of my journey with you. Some of it's in the book, some of it is not, but I want to share this part of it because it was an aha moment for me. Imagine you are told that there's something wrong with your leg and they need to do a biopsy. And they're sending it far and wide because they don't know for sure what this is. So they send this biopsy out and you're waiting for the results and you get called into the doctor's office. And you're sitting there in the doctor's office. It's small, it's cramped. My husband's standing behind me with his hands on my shoulders. And we're waiting for the news. The doctor sits across from me and he looks at me and he says, "May I speak to you as if you were my wife?" Well, he's young and he's good looking. So you betcha. He reaches over and he puts his hand on my knee and he says, "Honey, if you don't have this operation, you're going to die." And I could feel Rick's grip on my shoulders get a little tighter. And I knew he was swallowing hard behind me. And I looked at the doctor and says, "Okay, when do you want to do it?" And so he was thinking, she didn't hear me, she didn't get it. So he says, "No, Mrs. Standeven, by operation I mean amputation." And I said, yeah, but when do you want to do it?" So he's looking at me like, okay, she's still not getting this. He's waiting for the I need a second opinion, the tears, the anger, the something. But not calm and not when do you want to do it. So he says, "You know, by amputation, I mean we need to surgically remove your entire right leg, your hip, and your pelvis." "Yes, when do you want to do it?" So I'm thinking, okay, he's not hearing me right now. And then he looked and he says, "Mrs. Standeven, this cancer moves very quickly to your lungs. We need to do it now. I would like you in tomorrow." And I said, "It's December 22nd. Are you kidding me? Are you guaranteeing me Christmas next year or New Year's?" "No, I can't do that." So I said, "Well, listen, how about this? I have one more Christmas and New Year's with my family on two legs. My husband and I have a wedding to go to, and I would love one more night of dancing on two legs. Oh, and I forgot, I'm hosting my best friend's baby shower. So I checked my calendar and I'm free on January 6th. Will that work for you?" He looked at me like I'd taken one little blue pill too many. And he said, "Okay." And my husband is standing there and I could feel him just so tense and so tight and going, I can't believe we're hearing this, and she's so calm and accepting. But what I did not tell my husband and what I did not tell my doctor was that 2 weeks before I had a dream. And I dreamt that I was 83 years of age and I turned around and a voice said, "This is your life on two legs." And I watched this lovely life unfold and I saw the birth of our first son, and then I saw, hey, the birth of another son. And my husband and I grew old together, which we have arrived, darling, yes, it's official. And we raised these two boys to adulthood, and it was a nice life. And I said, "But wait a minute, that's it? That's all there was?" that was the word I used in my dream, fluffy. So this voice said, "This is your life on one leg." And I turned around and I watched this amazing life unfold. And it was so much harder than the two-legged life. This one-legged lady had that second child, that son, and grew old with her husband. And we raised these two beautiful boys, but along the way, it was filled with tears and triumphs. It was hard, but it was rewarding. So I knew, I went, wow. I saw myself speaking and traveling and writing books and radio and TV and going to schools and talking to children and making a difference in so many lives. And I went, wow, now that was a life that mattered. And the voice said, 5 words that forever changed my life. This choice I give you. So what would you have done? I know one morning I reached for my journal and I wrote, after the dream I had last night, I know I'm going to lose my leg and it's going to be okay. It's been so much more than okay, and it has been hard. I remember waking up from the hospital with so much pain, I went, well, that's just not right. It didn't show me this part of it. And it was so sore. So I just thought, oh, how am I ever going to do this? But then over time, one day I woke up and that pain was gone, and I went, that's good. I can do that. And I have learned so many things and important life lessons along the way that I never would have had the opportunity to learn if I had not had the adversity. I could have had the fluffy life. But the one that was filled with adversity taught me so much more. I'll never forget how before I lost my leg, I would open doors for people, help them with their bags, just the little helpfulness. And then all of a sudden, I'm down to 105 pounds, and I'm standing in front of a door that's too heavy for me to open on one leg. And I'm standing there and I'm feeling helpless. It's a door, for heaven's sakes. A door. How can I not be able to open a door? And I'm feeling so helpless and frustrated and thinking, this is just wrong. And then out of the blue, this amazing man came up. And he swung the door open because it was a piece of cake for him. Never even thought, here, let me get that for you, my dear. And he held the door for me, and then that was my aha moment. I looked at him with such gratitude and gratefulness in my heart, and I said, thank you. You're welcome. My pleasure. That was when I realized that we cannot give graciously to someone if they are not there to receive graciously. Sometimes our role is to be the givers, to be the people, the Rotarians who work in the community to help people they don't even know who need help. Sometimes our role is to be the ones who need to receive that help graciously. Sometimes we don't even know the person who's doing the giving. Rotarians everywhere. We don't always know the person who's getting that gift of sight, or who's getting the gift of a polio-free life. We don't always know the people who are walking and driving down roads looking at the nice, clean roads that we've maintained. And yet they're there, and they're appreciative. Somebody needs to give, but in order to give, there has to be someone willing and in need of receiving. Right now, everyone in here, we're in the giving mode. And I'm so happy that I'm able to, I say say I lost my leg, but I sure found my voice. Something was taken away from me, but something even greater was given. Right now, we're in that position to give. And I'm here and I'm giving what I can. I might not be out there on the road picking up with you guys when you're out there with your pickers and everything else doing that, but I'll be cheering you on. And I'll be there in spirit. I can wave to you from the car and say, thank you, good job. Those sort of things, you have to realize that not everybody can do what you do. So you fill that niche for all of us who maybe are sitting on the sidelines, giving the 2 thumbs up sign. For that, I'm grateful. I have learned so many things in life from having one leg, and I think the funniest things are the ones that I appreciate the most. The sense of humor, the things that make me laugh. And I've been blessed with a crazy husband who has the gift of laughter in my life every single day. And I'd like to share with you the story of my last name. Did anybody catch the irony of my last name? Standeven. Well, that's pretty funny. I didn't get it at first, and at GS Strong, anybody know of GS Strong, the rehab center in Vancouver? Everyone goes there if they're lucky enough and blessed enough. They get to go there to recuperate. So my doctor sent me to GS Strong to learn how to balance on one leg, how to use crutches in a wheelchair. So my first day of orientation, I'm there and I'm wheeling in, and I put a lap blanket over my lap because I didn't want anyone to know that I was disabled. Every single person there is disabled, except for the staff, and some of them are a little iffy. But I wheeled in, and with the blanket over, and I hear laughter, and I'm thinking, this is a fabulous place to get well. I am so grateful to be here where there's laughter. And I put my shoulders back, and I wheeled in just a little faster, and I wheeled over to where the therapists are all standing in a group with their clipboards, and they're laughing, and I go over and I say, good morning, everybody, and what's funny on a Monday? They didn't even look down because they're used to seeing people in wheelchairs, so they just kept laughing and went, oh man, we cannot wait to meet the amputee whose last name is Standeven. And at that moment, I went, oh man, hello, that's me. And then they laughed even harder. So I thought, okay, that is kind of funny. I did have 2 legs when I married my husband, so this is funny stuff. And when my husband came to visit me, and I said, honey, you're not going to believe this. My last name, Standeven, that's really funny. And he looked at me and he goes, honey, you got to change your first name. I'm thinking, oh, okay, what are you talking about? And he goes, Eileen. Oh, brilliant. I'm still Glenda. I don't know if you know this. I'm still Glenda Standeven. I'm not going there, honey. But we've started to laugh and learn and appreciate, and I have had so many wonderful, funny things happen over the years that have just been shared in the book. Some aren't, some I can share with you because I think they're definitely share-worthy. When we were at the water slides, my first excursion out, and I'm really thin, and I'm thinking, you know what? I look good even in a bikini with one leg, so I'm wearing this. And I had my little bikini on, and we went up top, and I had a little wrap around there to hide my missing leg. And we went up to the top, and we're standing there waiting for our turn. We've got Rick, myself, and my little boy, Kevin was 4 then. So we're standing there, and the little guy looks up, and he goes, something's wrong with this picture. And kids are honest. They are brutally honest. And he looks at me and finally he goes, hey lady, you only have one leg. Well, I looked at it and I thought, oh, okay, this is fun. And I looked down and I went, oh no, it was here a minute ago. I thought that was really funny too. And this little guy, bless his heart, he put his hand on top of mine and he stroked it like this and he says, don't worry, lady, I'll help you find it. So, later on, we see him with his little snorkel goggles on, and he's down in the pool, and he's doing this, and I know what he's looking for. Yeah, we didn't tell him. We had such a good laugh over that. And I've been blessed that my family is so appreciative and take me just as I am. They never see the disability behind me, and which is sometimes a plus and sometimes a minus. In Chilliwack, I went out with my son, and I had been trying to wear a prosthesis, and I wrapped this prosthesis around me really tight and hurried out because we were late to pick up this package at the mirror shop. So I went down the stairs, through the basement, up the stairs, my little boy following behind me. I buckled him in the seat and tied him in, and off we went down the main drag, out on the main drag of Chilliwack. Walked into the mirror store, people holding doors for me, and I'm smiling and laughing, and everybody's coming in behind me, and I'm thinking, this is a wonderful town. Everybody's always smiling. So I get my package, and the lady notices I have crutches, and she says, oh, would you like me to help you with that? And I said, yes. So I walk out ahead of her, and she gets behind me, and she says, oh, don't turn around, just keep walking. And she presses herself right up against me. And I'm thinking, this is weird. Get out to the car, and I says, what on earth are you doing? She says, lady, I don't know how to tell you this, but your dress is tucked into your leg? And I'm like, oh my gosh. And the prosthesis, you have to understand, they had really worked hard on this. They had made this beautifully shaped, tanned leather butt. And my butt was broadcast all across Chilliwack for everyone to have an appreciative look. And my son had followed me down the stairs, up the stairs, out to the car, into the building, behind me. And I looked at him and I said, Kevin, why didn't you tell Mommy? And he looked at me and he says, I thought you liked it like that. And not so much. But things like that, I'm like, you know what? It's funny. It really is funny to be able to laugh at yourself and find the funny in everything that you do. And the camaraderie you find in Rotary clubs, the good work that we do as members of this club and the community. I am so grateful to all of you for the work you do in Edmonton, and please, if you're ever in Chilliwack, I invite you to come to our Friday club. We have 150 members there that usually show up, and we have a band out of all the membership called the Rotations. Isn't that cute? So the Rotations entertain us every Friday at noon at the Best Western, right off the highway. You can't miss it. So an open invitation to all of you to please come and join us anytime you're out in BC. That way we'd love to have you. Any questions? Oh, well, you know, anytime you do, if there's something that you'd like to ask, I'm sure I would be more than happy to answer. Some people say, how did you carry your baby afterwards? I did have a special leg made that helped support that side of me. We call it a womb with a view. Yeah, it was amazing. There were only 16 documented births like it in the world at that time. So we were very blessed to have a wonderful, healthy baby boy who is now 6'3". So time marches on. Thank you all so much. It's been my real pleasure.